journey, all the way from that first spark of interest to final success. And along the way, we're going to master 8 essential phrasal verbs that perfectly capture every single step of learning something new. Let's get started. You know that feeling, right? When you just feel like you've completely fallen behind. It's a really common feeling, especially with tricky things like phrasal verbs. But hey, don't worry about it. We're going to break it all down, starting right where every learning adventure begins, that moment of inspiration. So, where does any great learning story begin? Well, it always starts with a spark. That one moment you discover something new and you just know you have to find out more. This is where our journey kicks off. Okay, so the first step is all about just being interested. When you're into something, it means you have a real passion, a genuine curiosity about it. It's that initial pull that gets you excited about a new topic or a new hobby. This is a perfect example, right? For a ton of teenagers, gaming isn't just something they do now and then. They are really into it. And this phrasal verb perfectly captures that active interest. Whether you're into music, sports, or science, it's the real starting point for learning anything. So, once you're into something, what's next? You gotta do something about it. And that's where take something up comes in. This is when you move from just being interested to actually participating. You're officially starting that new activity. See how that flows? Mr. Johnson was probably into the idea of gardening for a while, so he finally decided to take it up as a hobby. Now that our student's journey has officially begun, let's move on to the next phase, the real work. All right, so you've found your new passion, you've decided to take it up. Now comes the part where the real work begins, what we call the study grind. This is where you actually start building your skills and your knowledge base. So what's one of the first things you're probably going to do? Research, right? And that's exactly what reading up on something means. You're diving into books, articles, whatever you can find to build a really solid foundation of knowledge. And look at Jack here. He didn't just jump in and hope for the best. Nope, he did his homework. He spent weeks reading up on the topic so he could understand it inside and out. That's such a crucial step for any serious learner. Now, this next one is super useful, and it's a little different. Brush up on is for skills you already have. Maybe you learned some French in school years ago, but you haven't used it since. You wouldn't be learning it from scratch. You'd be brushing up on it to refresh your memory. This is a perfect example. Mark already knew accounting. His skills were just a little rusty, so he took a quick course to brush up on them. See, it's not about learning something new, it's about sharpening what you already know. Okay, now this is the heart of the study grind. To work on something means to actively practice, to put in the effort, day in and day out to get better. This is the process. The key thing here is focused, concentrated effort. It doesn't matter if you're trying to improve a skill like time management, practice an instrument, or perfect a recipe. You have to actively work on it if you want to see any real results. But let's be real. No learning journey is ever a straight line, is it? Sometimes life happens. You hit a snag, you face a challenge, and you get thrown completely off track. So this slide lays it all out for us, the problem and the solution. On the left side, you've got the problem, to fall behind. This is what happens when you're just not progressing as quickly as everyone else. In our example, poor Sarah fell behind in her coursework because she got sick. But, and this is the important part, on the right side, we have the solution, to catch up on something. This means putting in extra time to do all the work you missed. So, when Sarah got better, she could take the time to catch up on everything. These two verbs are the perfect pair for that setback and recovery cycle. So after hitting that roadblock and then working hard to catch up, our student Sarah is finally on the home stretch. This is the moment where all that hard work is about to pay off. And here we are, the final satisfying step. Handing something in is when you submit that finished assignment, that report, that project. It's the official final moment of a task. And there you have it. After falling behind, catching up, and finishing all her work, Sarah completes her journey by handing it in. A really successful end to her story. Okay, we've followed the story, we've seen the verbs in action. But now for a little pro tip. Have you ever gotten confused about where the object is supposed to go? Is it take up gardening or take gardening up? Well, guess what? There's a super simple trick for this. Here's the secret, and it's all visual. Just look at where the word something is in the definitions we've been using. Okay, that's step 1. Now look at step 2. If something comes at the very end of the phrase, like in read up on something, the verb is inseparable. They're stuck together. You must say read up on the topic. But now for step 3. If something is right in the middle, like in take something up, that means the verb is separable. You can split it apart. So you can say take up gardening or take gardening up. Both are totally correct. It's a really easy visual trick to get it right every time. And that's a wrap. We followed the whole student journey, we've learned 8 really useful phrasal verbs, and we even picked up a cool grammar trick along the way. So now that you've brushed up on all of these, the only question left is, what new skill are you going to work on next?